It's a known sentiment that the early 2000s Fantastic Four movies are kinda bad or at the very least aggressively made, and nobody ever goes back to check whether or not that's actually true. Well, I recently got tired of scrolling on my phone for 19 fucking hours a day, so I started to investigate, and oh boy, you guys are not ready for just how crazy this movie really is. It starts out with Reed Richards and Ben Grimm, two best friends slash scientists who are down on their luck and need to go ask Victor Von Doom, a person who I'm assuming is their former classmates, for some help. Reed wants to go into space to study some cosmic far cloud so he can cure cancer or some shit, and Doom only agrees to help if he gets 5% of the profits. As if that wasn't bad enough, Doom is also fucking Reed's ex-girlfriend, Susan Storm, who now works for Doom as his director of genetic research. At this juncture, I actually have to praise this movie for its expeditious introduction of 4 out of our 5 main characters. It's very clear that they all have some sort of history with one another, but it's never explicitly expatiated upon.
You remember, when we were in school, we talked about working together.
We get a scene where we establish some tension between Reed and Susan, then Ben steps in to change the subject. This tells us that Susan is still spiteful towards Reed for some reason, and Ben is a loyal friend that always has his back. That's some really good characterization right there. After we introduce Susan's baby brother, Johnny Storm, as our resident good-looking narcissistic fuckboy, we cut to all 4 members of our Fantastic Four preparing for lunch. This and about 2 other scenes go through all this trouble of establishing that Ben doesn't like that Johnny is now his commanding officer and is also piloting the ship instead of him. But we don't really do anything with all that once we're in space. It all just kind of goes nowhere. That's no fun. What are you doing, movie? Why are you getting me to care about things that you plan to pay off later, then never fucking pay it off? What? Oh, that's not good. We just started. Don't give me trust issues, bro. What are we doing? It also establishes that Susan not only resents Reed, but actively still craves his validation, and he can't see that because he's so obsessed with science to notice. Seems on track for the smartest man alive, which, by the way, he is. Reed is apparently this super smart, somewhat famous, somewhat rich scientist that is somehow now down on his luck and desperate for help, but we never find out why. Another dumb thing with this scene is that it establishes Victor as the person who created the unstable molecule suit, not Reed. This is a comic book material Reed Richards created in the comics that allows them to use their powers without being naked. I genuinely do wish I found a better way to simplify that in the script. Also,
the synthetics act as a second skin, adapting to your body's individual needs.
She just called it an adaptive material.
See, now that means it keeps the hot stuff hot and it keeps the cool stuff cool.
And he just called it an insulator. Those are not the same thing. This movie can't even get its fucking inorganic exposition right. They go into space, Victor bullies Reed and Ben. Ben goes out to get some fresh air. Victor tries to propose to Susan. She tries to subtly reject him and he starts trying to convince her to say yes.
Now it's time to take the biggest step of all.
Victor.
If it helps, think of this as a promotion.
Victor,
Now that's just fucking sad. Anyway, the fourth cloud comes early. Reed and Johnny try to save Ben. Victor abandons them, tries to save himself and Susan. She crashes out on him for being a complete piece of shit, goes out to help the others. Victor saves himself and they all get assaulted by the space farts. Now, one would think that after this bullshit he just pulled, they would all be super upset with Victor and Susan won't break up with him because he abandoned her and her baby brother in space. But actually, one would be wrong because they are still dating when they get back, and Reed even apologizes to him for not predicting the accident.
Victor, wait. I just wanted to say I'm sorry the mission didn't go as planned.
Victor, I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to call.
He left you all in space to die. He should be the one apologizing. What the fuck? His company starts going bankrupt though, so at least he gets some consequences for being a total piece of shit. Ben tricks Reed and Susan into having lunch with him, but then he leaves halfway in so that they are forced to talk to each other. More consistently good characterization of Ben being a good friend. From there, they start discovering their powers and find out that Ben ran away to go meet his fiancée who we've been hearing about throughout the entire movie. She ends up leaving him because he's fucking ugly now, so he goes to be a big sad rock monster by the side of a bridge. We cut to the others on their way to go look for him in the morning, which is strange because he ran away at night and they would have definitely gone to go look for him immediately, seeing as how he might be in danger or be dangerous to other people, but whatever. Some guy tries to off himself and gets scared when he sees Ben's ugly ass, which leads to a big collision on the bridge. Reed, Johnny and Susan leave traffic to see what's going on, but they are being blocked by the police, so Susan gets naked and she starts going invisible to get through, which doesn't make any sense because 1. The whole point of being invisible is so nobody knows you're there or can see what you're doing. Getting naked and turning invisible in the middle of the road where the people and the police officers can very clearly see you kind of defeats the purpose of being fucking invisible. And 2, these two jackasses just go through the corner without being disturbed anyway, so what's the point of all that? This is a running joke, by the way. She gets naked in public at least 2 more times in this entire film series for no reason at all. Due to all the accidents on the road, chaos theory takes place and each member of the team is given an opportunity to be a hero and save some people, which is cool. It's nice to see our superheroes actually saving people from time to time. But I don't like how this movie didn't take advantage of this opportunity to do some important character work for Johnny and Susan because her powers activate by mistake, which is not great. It takes away her character's agency and then gives her plot armor because if she didn't have this one power accidentally activate right here right now, she'd be dead. Reed and Ben were introduced as scientists who want to save the world with space farts, so it makes sense that they would at least put their lives in danger to some degree to save some amount of people. But Johnny has been characterized as a narcissistic wisecracking fuckboy, so there's no reason for him to risk his life to save this little girl. A better way to write this scene would have been to have him watch people cheering for Ben as he saves the firemen, then make him call their attention towards him as he saves the little girl and gets praised for it. This could be used to create more conflict between him and the others as they berate him for being so superficial, and it's also a missed opportunity to give him a character arc where he saves people at the end of the movie regardless of whether or not he gets praised. Ben's fiance dumps him, Reed promises to cure him, they instantly become famous, Doom's company goes bankrupt because his board members pull out. We get a montage of them studying their powers and we find out that Susan broke up with Reed because she wanted to move in with him and he started thinking too much about it and then he refused. From here on out, we need to focus on Doom because bro goes on some crazy fucking side quests after his company goes to shit. You see, Doom is characterized as a person that really cares about his company. That seems to be his core motivation in this film because it's the one thing he cares about the most and his goal is to save his company by getting new investors to replace the ones that abandon him. Keep that in mind as we follow him on this journey of his. After his company goes bankrupt, he gets angry and finds out that his skin is turning into metal, he has electric powers and he is super strong. The scientist that reveals this to him wants to go public with this to the CDC because it might be infectious or contagious or dangerous, which would be bad for Doom because he is the face of his already dying company. So instead of blackmailing or threatening or bribing or even begging him, he just straight up kills the guy and leaves his body there to be discovered. This doesn't make any sense because while Doom is a petty, egotistical narcissist, he has not been characterized as the kind of person that is willing or even able to kill another human being, and being charged with first degree murder after you get caught because you didn't even try to hide the body might prove to be a bit of a stumbling block on your journey to save your fucking company. There are like 10 different way more effective things he could have done before deciding to kill him. He just did that because the movie arbitrarily decided that it's time for him to become a villain. He goes on to kill one of his former board members, which again wouldn't bode well for him or his company when he gets put under the jail for being the dumbest murderer ever. He goes to one of his warehouses, kills all his guards and picks up some weapons that he's presumably going to use to kill the Fantastic Four. Now, this particular side quest is double stupid because this is your fucking warehouse. Your company hasn't been repossessed by the bank yet. These men still work for you. Why are you murdering them? And how exactly is murdering 4 scientists going to help get your company back? At this point in the movie, I was already confused, but now I'm just flabbergasted. Can someone please explain the egotistical businessman to cold-blooded mass murdering psychopath pipeline? Because I don't fucking see the connection here. Right now, the movie realizes that it has essentially driven Victor insane for no good reason. So, in an attempt to make him seem more rational and believable, they make him exposit his new motivation to the audience.
Reed got what he wanted, and everything he wanted, he took from me.
Wait, what?
Now it's time to take it back.
I don't know how, but they've somehow managed to make Doom even more fucking stupid.
Reed got what he wanted.
No, dipshit. He wanted to study cosmic rays so he can use his research to help humanity, but instead, he turned his best friend, his ex-girlfriend, her brother, and himself into a bunch of freaks. So now he's tirelessly working day and night to undo what he did. Are you actually fucking insane? How is any of this going to help you get new investors for your company, and how aren't you in prison already? There's physical and digital evidence of you murdering at least 5 different people. Also, when and how did you install cameras in the Baxter building, and why hasn't Reed Richards figured this? Oh, this movie is fucking killing me, bro. It was at this point, after seeing their lame attempts to shoehorn in his mask from the comics, that I decided to do some research and find out just how bad this Doctor Doom adaptation really is. You see, I've always heard that Doom in these movies is kinda shit, and I never really understood it because he looked mostly comic accurate and he had cool superpowers. But by the end of my incredibly extensive and completely thorough one YouTube video investigation, I was given a completely brand new way to be angry at this fucking piece of shit movie. They took the super genius who was a master of science, technology, and the mystic arts, turned him into a generic evil businessman, and just put him in his comic book costume to pander to the audience. It's actually quite sickening when you stop to think about it. While Doom was on his little side quest, Reed was building a machine that will cure them, but because Johnny refused to stay quarantined until the machine is ready, they end up having a public fight, which leads to some great character work for Ben and Susan.
It's easy for you to be patient.
No, it's not! I thought I was done waiting for Reed, but
indicating how painful it is for her to be reliant on a person for her physical needs when she knows fully well he wasn't able to deliver on her emotional desires.
Susie, look at me. You got no idea what I'd give to be invisible.
Expatiating more on how he's the one that's suffering the most out of all 4 of them while making direct thematic reference to the person he's talking to. God, it's like, where was all this intentionality and deference when you were writing Doom? Ben goes on to meet a blind girl at a bar that likes him. Doom then finds him at a different diner that same night and tries to turn him against Reed.
You're his best friend. So what possible reason could he have for taking his time?
While Susan literally forces him to take a break after catching him sleeping at his desk.
Reed,
I should get back to work.
you need a break.
So not now, please.
Come on, let's go.
She takes him to where they had their first date. They resolve the reason why they broke up in the first place, come back to meet Ben who's been waiting for them. He starts a dumbass out of character argument.
Do you also remember what you swore to do with every breath in your body?
We're working as hard as we can.
Yeah, I can tell.
Which doesn't make any sense because you've literally seen him working day and night to make sure he gets this just right and doesn't end up exacerbating your condition or worse, killing you. Plus this shit that Susan already reminded you of earlier.
I can't live like this.
just give Reed a little more time. You know how he works, analyzing every little step before he takes one.
One dumb conversation with Doom wouldn't just nullify all of that, so Reed boldly starts defending himself.
I don't know if this thing will change us back or make us worse. I need you to be patient for a little while longer.
Look at me!
I am looking! That's why I can't make a mistake. I've got to get it right, and it's not right yet.
Yeah! Fight back, Reed! After their friendly squabble, Reed tests the machine on himself, which goes poorly, so now he's out of commission. Doom then uses it to cure Ben, which doesn't really make any sense because how is he able to gain access to their building and make all that noise without them even noticing? From this point onward, the movie goes full fucking dumbass mode and Victor just becomes a straight up generic evil bad guy who says generic evil bad guy lines. So I'll just play you his best hits.
I've always wanted power. Now I have an unlimited supply.
What did you do?
Exactly what I said I would. I built a better, stronger being and outsmarted the great Reed Richards. One down. 3 to go. Take a good look, Ben. This is what a man looks like who embraces his destiny.
Painful? You don't know the meaning of the word. 2 down. 2 to go.
The machine works. It worked on Ben. It can work on you. We can turn you back.
Do you really think fate turned us into gods so we could refuse these gifts?
The rest of this movie isn't really that important, to be honest with you. Ben gets his powers back, they work together as a team to defeat Doom, which is actually cool. Ben chooses to remain a monster, not because his friends or the world needs him to be their rock, so he must carry this burden, or anything remotely thematically cohesive like that. No, he stays that way because a blind girl likes him. Cool. Then Reed immediately proposes to Susan, which seems a bit unrealistic and kinda rushed, but okay. 4 out of 10. The movie is not horrible, but it's not great either. Subscribe to my Patreon for Weko's Echo. That's my Patreon exclusive weekly podcast where I review movies, answer your questions, and react to Reddit stories. Yeah! Well, this was fun. Subscribe to the Patreon, link in the description, and I will see you guys in the next analysis.